Hey everyone, Marshall Carolina Fresh Farms in Columbia. Hope everyone's enjoying this great weather we're finally getting. Seems like we've had rain for a month straight, but as the sun comes out, it starts to warm up a little bit. We're getting into prime time sod planting season. Just want to talk for a few minutes about some things you need to think about going into sod planting season to make sure you get the sod that you need. And the first thing you need to start with is making sure you can even grow the sod that you think you're interested in your yard. And that will bring me first up to shade tolerance. That term is a bit misleading because it's really not about shade tolerance. Certain sods don't like shade, but it's more about sun requirement. They can all take the full sun. They're grown in sod fields. There's no shade. So therefore you need to look at the sun requirement that each sod has. And you need to find your shadiest part of your yard that you have where you want sod, and you need to make sure that you have an idea of how much sun that part of the area gets. If you have to put an hour amount on how much sun that most shaded part of your yard gets, that's where you need to be. Each sod type is going to have a different sun requirement it needs to survive. Your lower end sods like St. Augustine's are going to be down around 2 to 3 hours of sun minimum they need per day. Zoysias are going to be 4 to 5 hours a day, a good solid 4 hours at least for zoysias to survive. Centipedes, if you move on up the ladder, you're looking at 6 hours. Bermuda, 7 plus, much as it can get. That's the main factor you need to look at to start with. Different grasses, like I said, the St. Augustine is going to have the lowest sun requirement. That's where you're going to get the better response out of your more shaded areas in the yard. Now, after you figure out the shade sun situation in your yard, you need to look at what you want the yard to be. Is it going to be just a visual aspect of your property? Or is it going to be a heavy traffic area, i.e. entertainment, children, dogs? That's going to factor in also. So if you start again there on the lower end of the spectrum. Centipede, terrible with high traffic areas. That's due to a lack of a protected subsurface root structure. All of centipede's growth happens on the surface. Where your regenerative properties, when things get damaged from traffic, dogs, people, anything, comes from is a protected root structure like Bermuda or zoysia grasses that have a sustained root structure underground. They are able to regenerate and create new growth when things get damaged from traffic or other situations. Centipede, everything's on the surface. Once it gets damaged, you have to wait on it to cycle back across and spread back across, which can be more time consuming than waiting on new growth to regenerate. On the opposite end of that spectrum, Bermuda is way up there, a foot worth of roots or even more. That's why it's on sports fields. It can regenerate all the time and create new root growth. That's where you get your regenerative properties. So then you have to find your compromise situations. If you want both, if you need traffic tolerance, if you need shade tolerance, that's where you have to spend a little bit extra money on the zoysia grasses. That's where you get your combination of 6, 8, 10 inches of roots, deep, thick, dense roots that zoysia grasses have that can regenerate and create new growth, whereas it also has good shade, sun tolerance, and versatility. So that's just a good way to start out thinking about what type of grasses you may need. Also, always start out with a soil sample. Bring us a soil sample, we'll get it going. pH ranges being off a point or two here or there can make all the difference in the world. Just some things to start thinking about. Look for some more videos from us, and also come see us anytime you want to here. Carolina Fresh Farms in Columbia. We are your landscaping supply specialist.